In this lab, we will configure the Centrify zone provisioning agent for automatic provisioning of secondary Unix groups. In a previous lab, we saw that we can automatically provision, meaning add, move, or change users by just dropping them or taking them out of a security group in AD. We're going to do the same, but for Unix secondary groups. We're going to be performing all these functions from client 1 using Jesse's account. In my example, I've decided that I'm going to use two groups, a DBA admin and a web admin group. None of these groups are going to be used for access or privileges because we have proven throughout the labs that by using Centrify zones and computer roles, you can control who has access to what. And also with the RBAC model or Centrify roles, you can control exactly what they can do. So provisioning a secondary group in AD in a centrified environment for the purpose of access or privileges is a duplication of effort. So the first thing we need to do to implement a ZPA and configure for that is to make sure that the ZPA service account has the proper rights to add, remove, and modify group profiles. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm finding in here the Centrify ZPA in the delegation wizard. And I'm going to make sure that the ZPA has the following rights: the ability to add groups, remove groups, and modify group profiles. That's exactly what it needs. It needs no more than that. Once I have that, I have to take care of the source group. A source group, like we did with regular user profiles, is the group in AD that ZPA is going to check for members to actually grant or provision the Unix profile. So remember that we have in our AD tree here, we have a provisioning groups OU, just so we know exactly where those groups are. So in this case, I'm going to use the same naming convention. So it's Unix HQ zone, all groups in this case. This is my provisioning group, but I also have an OU that I've designated for the security groups that are designated for my Unix groups. I'm going to create my first group. So it's Unix HQ web admin. I'm going to do two things right away. I'm going to nest that group inside my provisioning group. In this case, all groups. And I'm going to add all the members in the zone. Notice that I'm adding everybody. I have two groups of users. I have my sysadmin, Jesse, administrators, and DBAs. But regardless, I'm adding them both because I'm actually trying to show you how access is also controlled. I have all that. Now all I have to do is configure the zone for automatic group provisioning. So I'm going to go ahead to Properties, go to the Provisioning tab. I'm going to enable auto provisioning for group profiles, and I'm going to find my source group. And I have my all groups in here. I'm going to set the defaults because I want to show you how you can adjust this later. So I'm going to generate the SID of the group, automatically form the GID from the SID, and I'm going to make the Unix name the same as the Active Directory name. So now the zone is auto provisioned for groups. What that means is that I can't create manual groups. This is great for standardizing processes. Same thing for users. I did that before in a previous lab. So now I'm going to go ahead and stop and start the ZPA. Stop and start the ZPA. And if everything goes exactly according as planned, I should refresh in here and see the group. And as you can see, I've had the Unix HQ web admin group with that same Unix name and a GID generated from SID. Let's verify this on a Unix platform. So I'm here in my CentOS machine, which happens to be a database system. If I do an AD query user, I should only see Jesse plus Jeremy and Raymond. They are the DBAs. So if I do an AD query group, I will see nothing because the cache flush interval hasn't gone through. As you probably know, I need to do an AD flush. And if I do now an AD query, you will notice that the group was properly propagated, and it's coming with the users that only have access to this machine. This is really important for you to grasp. Notice that if I look at the group, at the memberships, all the users from the zone are in there, but only Jesse plus the web administrators are showing up. This is because, remember, at the zone level, Jesse has a role assignment. He's a super user. So in here, he has access to all the servers in the zone. But if I look at the database server level and I look at the role assignments, this is only for database administrators, and this is only Jeremy and Raymond. So notice that even if you add everybody, all the users in here, the users that are going to be propagated in the secondary group membership are going to be only the ones that can access the box. Again, this is very powerful. But we're gonna have to make some adjustments because this name and this UID may not be exactly what's required.